Okay, so we're in Buffalo, New York, and we're going to be looking at the Erie County Sheriff's Chief Deputy of Narcotics, Mr. DJ Granville. And as this plays out, I want you to think to yourself, if this was you or your family member, what would you be charged with? Ready?
Two on Your Side investigates Charlie Specht and Sean Mickey tell us many of the details of the incident have remained secret until now.
Hit and run video, 456 Prospect, seeing multiple calls in.
It eroded my trust, not just in, Erie County, Sheriff's Department, also in the Buffalo Police Department.
I went down the street and hit a few parked cars.
Should any of them tarnish the police department, they should be held accountable. They will.
As chief of the Erie County Sheriff's Narcotics and Intelligence Unit, DJ Granville is front and center when police agencies announce major drug busts in Buffalo.
And I want to commend our chief of narcotics and intelligence, DJ Granville.
But Granville's actions nearly a year ago have clouded his future and that of another member of his politically connected family. They also raise fundamental questions about whether police are given special treatment when they're alleged to have broken the law.
They are.
Shortly before midnight on April 11th, 2024, Granville was off duty driving his Dodge Ram pickup owned by Erie County. According to a Buffalo police report obtained by Two on Your Side, Granville was less than a mile from his West Side home when he struck two vehicles on Jersey Street near the intersection of Prospect Avenue. His vehicle then turned south on Prospect, heading in the wrong direction on a one-way street. The pickup struck a third vehicle, causing that car to hit a fourth vehicle. Granville then continued a block down Prospect before his car struck two more vehicles facing northbound. He passed Hudson Street, striking a seventh vehicle before coming to a stop. Buffalo police would not provide us with the full police report for the incident, but Two on Your Side obtained it from other sources. And it shows the crash was originally classified
a hit and run, and then what happens? Also, when he hit the first car, maybe, I don't know, stop.
As a hit and run.
Yeah, my car was underneath this tree.
Mary Wyant's car was parked in front of her Jersey Street apartment when Granville's pickup sideswiped it. She says it caused $7,000 worth of damage.
And in that open spot is where my neighbor's car was. Hers had substantially more damage, and so that's when it was really like, oh no, something bad has happened.
A total of 6 drivers have filed legal claims with Erie County seeking reimbursement for repairs. That's expected to cost county taxpayers nearly $60,000. Granville faced no charges related to drunk driving, and nothing indicates he was required to undergo a breathalyzer or...
No breathalyzer, no intoxilizer, no standard field sobriety test, no nothing. Now, if that was you, and you hit 7 cars, what do you think they're going to do the minute they get there? I'm just throwing that out there.
Field sobriety test. Court records obtained by Two on Your Side show Granville was instead ticketed for going the wrong way down a one-way street, later reduced to jaywalking, and a $150 fine. Do you feel like this sheriff's chief is being treated differently because of who he is?
Yes.
Do you think the average person would be involved in a crash involving 7 vehicles and face no charges?
Nope.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is one of my main concerns. It's a public safety issue. No one's above the law. If it were a normal citizen who had gone through it and caused this much damage and hit this many cars, that a different action would have been taken.
Any questions, I'd be happy to answer any.
He will not.
Sheriff, how do you respond to these very serious allegations that have been made against your chief of narcotics, Granville?
Charlie, we're here today talking about something that's, really made an impact on Erie County. The people, you saw the search warrants, they were executed throughout Erie County. We took fentanyl, dangerous guns.
Oh, we're going to pat ourselves on the back for some shit we've done to avoid the question that is actually being asked.
Forth. And, you're talking about a car accident. I really don't have a comment on it.
A car accident. 7 cars. He has hit 7 and completely tore up well, they'll say, well, that's a city car. Yeah, it's a taxpayer car. And trust and believe, they want that fucking car to completely disappear.
Car accident.
What would you say to people that look at this drug bust and say, this is great, you're taking drugs off of the street, you're holding people accountable, but when one of your own chiefs allegedly drives drunk, smashes 7 cars, costs taxpayers $60,000 in damages, that person is not being held accountable?
Well, I think you answered the question. It's allegedly until I hear otherwise, which I haven't. It's a car accident, and I don't have a comment on that. Yes.
Also, allegedly drunk, maybe, maybe not. He is the head, the Mr. DJ Granville is the head of the narcotics. Maybe we do a blood draw and see what's in his system.
Can we ask the chief if he was driving drunk that night?
No, you may not.
Granville, who made $214,000 last year, comes from a politically connected family, and he has donated thousands to local political campaigns.
Of course.
Granville's wife, Maria Esquilin Granville, is a member of the Erie County Democratic Committee and has hosted political fundraisers for Democratic Chairman Jeremy Zellner, former Mayor Brown, and acting Mayor Scanlon.
But wait, it gets better.
His wife's sister is Lucia Esquilin, seen here in 2023 when she became a Buffalo Police lieutenant.
The DEI.
Esquilin responded to Granville's car crash and signed off in multiple places at the bottom of the police report.
But of course.
A source with knowledge of the incident said internal investigators with the Buffalo Police are now probing whether Esquilin helped cover up the actions of her brother-in-law last April. Wyant, who confirmed that she was interviewed by internal investigators, says that's all she's looking for.
It's a public safety issue. I think that there needs to be more transparency and communication on.
They are zero about transparency. They want no transparency. They want no accountability. Corruption starts at the top and works its way down.
Honesty when it comes from the people who have sworn to protect and serve you.
They're not.
Well, Charlie and Sean are here now. This is quite a case that you've managed to bring to life. But what happens now with Granville? I assume he was at the news conference. He's still on the job.
Nothing.
He still is very much on the job. He was at this news conference, and payroll records that we obtained indicate he took more than a month off starting the day after this incident. But he was back on the job at the news conference today. Again, he makes $214,000 per year.
And we should also know that the sheriff's office has not said what happened to that pickup truck Granville was driving. The truck is owned by county taxpayers, and we still don't know whether they had to shell out money to have that paid and repaired.
You know damn well they did. We think it's magically delicious. It just magically repairs itself. No, the taxpayers will be on the hook for that shit too. And trust and believe, with the damage they showed and the airbag being deployed, just the airbag being deployed, you know damn well they're going to total that vehicle.
You ask a lot of interesting questions in that news conference, and I'm sure you're going to stay on it and follow up with the sheriff once he gets more insight as to what happened in that incident.
Tonight we're getting the first look at damage to a county-owned vehicle driven by Erie County Sheriff's Chief DJ Granville last April. And further evidence that suggests Buffalo City government and the Erie County Sheriff's Office may have played roles in a cover-up. Sheriff Garcia downplayed all of this Tuesday and stopped us from asking whether the politically connected Granville, who faced no charges other than jaywalking, was drunk behind the wheel.
And it's allegedly until I hear otherwise, which I haven't. It's a car accident,
and yes, they can say allegedly all day long now, because again, there was no roadside sobriety test, there was no breathalyzer, there was no standard field sobriety test, there was no intoxilizer, there was no blood draw. So now at this point they're like, no, it was just an accident, move along. They're waiting for the next big thing to pop up. This shit fall from the headlines, people forget about it, and it will go away. That's what they're waiting for.
I don't have a comment on that. Yes.
Can we ask the chief if he was driving?
No comment.
No,
Nope.
you may not.
But now, records obtained by Two on Your Side Investigates suggest that damages to the taxpayer-owned vehicle were extensive, and there are new questions about whether taxpayers should have to foot the bill. We filed a Freedom of Information request for towing records 1 month ago, and Wednesday, a day after our story, this city provided them. Those records show extensive damage to the front end of the pickup, and a right front wheel that was completely off the axle. The city waived a $150 towing fee for the sheriff's vehicle and did not require sheriff's deputies to provide a signature when they retrieved the vehicle, which is against protocol. County taxpayers have already paid $60,000 to reimburse people whose parked cars were struck by Granville's truck, but payroll records indicate Granville was off duty at the time. That's caused County Comptroller Kevin Hardwick to make inquiries about the county's legal responsibility for paying those claims, and whether Granville should be required to reimburse taxpayers. Well, neither of the two police agencies involved in the cover-up of a suspicious series of hit-and-run crashes by embattled Sheriff's Chief DJ Granville has turned over documents to the Erie County DA's office for criminal prosecution. But even if they had, DA Mike Kane's office may not be able to dig into this because of a potential conflict of interest his office has with Granville's family, which has deep political ties. Kane's office confirmed to us that Kristen Granville, who is DJ Granville's sister-in-law and who is married to DJ Granville's brother, works for the Erie County DA's office as a legal secretary. Her husband, William Granville, is also on the county payroll as a sheriff's detective, making $112,000 last year. Kane's spokesperson says, quote, potential conflicts of interest are always evaluated to ensure that a thorough and impartial investigation is conducted. If there's a conflict of interest or any appearance of impropriety, our office can request that the court appoint a special prosecutor. She also says Kane did not learn about this until Tuesday, when our story about the crashes first aired. These are allegations that involve two of the biggest police agencies in this region. And we've talked with someone whose car was damaged who said this really damaged their trust in the law enforcement process. Are you concerned about that as DA? And is there anything that you'd like to say about this incident?
I don't comment on, potential pending investigations, Charlie.
Always the answer, Charlie.
Now, this entire matter has the potential to be politically explosive for multiple elected leaders because of Granville's political ties and campaign contributions. Some would like to see someone
That should totally be illegal. I'm just throwing that out there.
outside Western New York look into this, possibly State Attorney General Letitia James, a spokesperson for...
Now, please stop. The whole Letitia James, she's as crooked as the rest of them. Starts from the top and works its way down. And if you are on here and you don't know anything about Letitia James, that's your own fault. Feel free to go look that shit up. A complete dumpster fire.
James says she is not involved at this point and would likely need a referral from the governor to investigate. Dave McKinley continues our team coverage. Dave.
The governor, no better.
Charlie, Democrats and Republicans alike expressed chagrin over having learned of the incident involving Granville almost a year ago, only through recent television news reports which uncovered it. So now lawmakers will use subpoena powers to question Sheriff Garcia and DJ Granville, as well as the county comptroller, the county attorney, and county executive Mark Poloncarz, whose office ultimately approved $60,000 in settlements with those who had their cars damaged. On that note, lawmakers, while they were notified in November of the settlements, they're not subject to their approval, so they say they were never told what they were for, nor that they stem from an incident involving a high-ranking member of the Sheriff's Department driving a county-owned vehicle. Do you think that maybe things have to change where you would have to approve something, so they have to give you a little more information?
We should absolutely know that, and that report should be in greater detail of what that settlement was for.
So what he's saying is his office is just responsible for writing the checks. We don't ask no questions where the money's going. So when roads don't, all these people are like, well, your tax dollars go to the roads and they go to the schools and they go, please fucking stop. Please, he just admitted, we just signed the checks. We don't ask where the money's going. The money's going in their damn pockets, not necessarily his, but government's pockets. So when the grass is way overgrown and all the vines and shit are growing up the light poles and shit and nothing's being done, the roads look like shit, garbage is everywhere because nobody's picking it up. But wait, our tax dollars are going to that. They are not. Trust and believe, they are not. They're putting that shit in their pocket. Sorry, that's how it works.
And what were the circumstances surrounding that?
The chairman does, by charter, have the ability to subpoena, and that's an important one that we're going to need to use. Simply put, this incident doesn't pass the smell check, and it's our job to take a further look into it.
The resolution calling for the investigation was put forth by minority Republicans, but it also gained support from almost every member of the Democratic caucus. The only no vote came from legislator John Gilmore, a Democrat, who's also the attorney for the Buffalo Police Union.
Shocker.
On your side,
It is
Dave McKinley,
not.
Channel 2 News.
Tonight, we have some new reaction following a Two on Your Side investigation into a hit and run involving the Erie County Sheriff's Office. Channel 2 investigative reporter Sean Mickey is here now. And Sean, you questioned Sheriff John Garcia earlier today about a potential Erie County legislature subpoena after your investigation this week.
Scott, for much of this week, Sheriff John Garcia has been embroiled in a scandal involving DJ Granville, his chief of narcotics and intelligence. Today, we spoke to Garcia directly about this and whether he would appear before the Erie County Legislature, which has opened its own investigation. In an exclusive interview with 2 On Your Side Investigates, the sheriff says he's in a holding pattern until Buffalo Police conducts its own probe into whether Granville's sister-in-law helped cover up the crash on Buffalo's west side. Granville and the sheriff's office have come under fire for the light treatment he received, paying a fine for jaywalking despite damaging 8 vehicles, including a county-owned pickup truck he was driving at the time of the crash.
Truth be known, he probably didn't even have to pay that $150.
We tracked down Garcia outside the Irish Civic Luncheon in South Buffalo, where he said he would have no problem answering questions on the matter.
And then he answered nothing.
I'm hopeful that this investigation proceeds in a timely manner so we could all find out what happened that evening.
Again, that's code, a timely manner. I'm hoping some bigger shit's going to come up and this is going to go away.
The legislature is asking you to talk to them. Will you speak with the legislature?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I don't need a subpoena for them to ask me questions.
It will be no comment.
I mean, obviously, we were not there that evening. We were told that certain things happened, and why would we think otherwise?
Because it's
Garcia
bullshit.
went on to say that he has questions of his own, and he said whatever the facts
Also,
are.
you gotta love the fact that they lay all these drugs out to show you all the drugs that he's taking off the streets. How many of those drugs is he using?
Is where the case will go. And while Garcia said sheriff's deputies were not there the night of the crash, sources do tell 2 On Your Side that they did appear at the city's impound lot to retrieve that vehicle that's owned by you, the taxpayer.
Yeah, they want to get rid of that
On Your
fucker.
Side in the studio, Sean Mickey, Channel 2 News.
Sean, thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
2 On Your...
Don't start back. And then here's the latest. Now, this will probably go up tomorrow, so something else may come up. I don't know.
We begin tonight with new images, first obtained by 7 News this morning, of the white pickup truck at the center of an alleged cover-up controversy in the Erie County Sheriff's Office. You can see significant damage to the front passenger side of the vehicle, one of the airbags deployed, and the right headlight there is missing. Good evening once again. That truck is owned by Erie County and is what police records show a high-ranking member of the sheriff's office was driving the night he allegedly crashed into multiple vehicles on Buffalo's west side.
And those images were among the missing pieces in our investigation that the Erie County Sheriff maintains was just a car accident. The controversy revolves around Chief of Narcotics and Intelligence Dan Granville on April 11th last year. Police documents say Granville was behind the wheel in 7 hit-and-run crashes that night on Jersey Street and Prospect Avenue. Several people whose vehicles were damaged have filed insurance claims against the county for thousands of dollars. And tonight, 7 News reporter Krista Morand is taking a closer look at that damage to Granville's truck and the crucial information we still need the sheriff's office to confirm.
Plus, Kristen explains how county and city lawmakers now are trying to get their own answers for their constituents.
Photo after photo shows severe damage to the front passenger side of this silver Ram pickup truck. It's the truck linked to the alleged hit-and-run cover-up involving Erie County Sheriff's Office Chief of Narcotics Daniel DJ Granville. The truck's front bender is crumpled. The wheel is...
Now, she said front bender. Was that like a Freudian slip? Is she trying to allude to something? Bender? Like maybe he was on a bender instead of fender? I'm just throwing that out there.
Missing, and the airbag is deployed after Granville hit 7 cars on Buffalo's west side last April. Lawsuits claim that Granville was in an impaired condition when this happened.
All this was news to us, or most of it was news. We had heard a while back that there was an accident involving a sheriff's deputy, but we didn't know it was 7 cars, and we didn't know it was over that length.
Erie County Controller Kevin Hardwick says there are questions over whether all of this happened while Granville was on or off duty. Hardwick says payroll records show Granville worked his regular shift that day and was off duty when this happened late at night. Several claims related to this crash show this has cost taxpayers nearly $60,000 to settle.
And it occurred to us, if he was off duty, should we be paying this? So I sent a letter a couple days ago to the county attorney saying, what's our policy? Does it differentiate between on duty and off duty? Had a conversation with him a couple nights ago, and he said, oh, definitely, it's different, off duty, on duty.
Hardwick says the county has only processed 2 settlements so far, but if Granville was in fact off duty, the county should get its money back.
Our lane is that $60,000, making sure that, the taxpayers are protected here.
The alleged cover-up has drawn outrage from county legislators who recently passed a bipartisan resolution calling for an investigation into what exactly happened that night.
Everything's on the table. We're going to look into all this. You know, like I said, this thing is getting bigger and bigger by the minute. And the first question you answer, there's 10 more questions.
And this isn't just about the sheriff's office. To have these settlement payments go out, which is what we want to investigate, it involves several layers of county of government where alarm bells should have went off.
Kristen joins us now. You've been on this story from the very beginning, and now we're learning one City of Buffalo lawmaker is now asking for answers as well, right?
Right. So we know that the Buffalo Police Department responded to the night of that incident, and we know Granville's sister-in-law signed off on the report. So because of that, Niagara District Council member David Rivera is actually sending a letter to the Buffalo Police Commissioner inviting him to come down to the next Police Oversight Committee meeting to really understand what happened here, what's going on with the internal affairs investigation, and should this investigation be turned over to the Attorney General's office, guys.
All right, something we know you'll continue to stay on top of. Kristen Moran, thank you.
Okay, stop. Also, no, it's not going to matter who it's turned over to. It's a cover-up. Also, from the first one to this one was, I don't know, 4 days. You notice there was no new information. You're likely getting no more information out of this. They don't want you to know anything about it. And what are you going to get anyway? There was no intoxilizer. There was no field sobriety test. And there was no blood draw. So at this point, it was just an accident. That's what they're going to call it. And they're going to move along. So let me know what you think about this in the comments. Also, 92% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. I forgot to say it at the beginning, but that's all right. You got your phone in your hand, you got your laptop. Click the button, like, share, subscribe, and I'm out.